In this video, I want to show you how you can bug fix a third-party news package, or how you can extend a third-party news package, and while you can at the same time use that altered package in development and in production. So it will also show you how you can make sure that your composer lock requires your forked project. So let's go into details. The steps are pretty simple. The first one is you installed your package normally through Composer. You started to work with that third-party package and you find a bug. What you want to do is you want to fork the project on GitHub and require that fork in your Composer JSON. And then we'll set up this third-party package fork so you can develop locally on it. So we'll create a new branch and set up the upstream. Then you can write your code, you commit your changes, and then I show you how you can push those changes to GitHub and create a pull request. So let's go into details. I give you this simple example here. There's a nice package, and you install it. And now it will install the Composer package in my example project. Okay, so the next thing is I'm really excited about the project. I read the documentation and took some code, and I already started to implement it here. And then I noticed that the package actually doesn't run on ES3 yet. So when I open the website, I get an error that there's an, it didn't work, and so this is now the step where I would go and fork the package. So the first thing I want to do here on GitHub, I find the button saying fork. I click on it, and it asks me where I want to fork. I fork to my own repository as a known repository. Okay, now on our own fork, we want to create a new branch. This keeps your code organized and helps you later making a pull request. So you would click here on branch and you would create a new branch, and you would start it either with a bugfix / and then you give it a name of what you're bug fixing. Or in our case, we would use, for example, feature, and let's say update to news 3. In my specific case, since I prepared the tutorial, I already have this branch, so I don't have to click enter. And now the next thing is we have to do is to go to our Composer JSON, and here we want to make sure that our Composer now loads the forked version. So you create a new extra part here called repository, and in the repository you define an alternative path for this package, basically the fork. And then instead of just loading a specific version, what you would want to do is to load something like devmaster, but actually you can be even more specific like this. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying that it should load my feature branch, and to make sure that there are no issues with other plugins which might also require this package, we're using this as devmaster. So to other packages it looks like we're loading devmaster. Okay, so now we want to make Composer update our specific dependency, and it will now grab the forked version from GitHub, and you see it removed the normal one and took the one we want from our fork. And now in my own project you see I changed these two things, and in the Composer lock you can actually check and you can see that here the forked version is loaded and not the normal the original package. So now we're able to really work on that package. Okay, so the next thing is we want to make sure that we can still get all the changes which are done to the original repository and merge them into our fork. So right now I'm in the package, and let's go into the specific package which is all about. And here you can see git remote v, and you see what's already configured, and you see the origin here is configured to your forked version. So now I want to add a second version, which we call upstream. So git add remote upstream, and here we want to define that the upstream is our original third-party package. So I go back to the original package here, which is by another developer, and I take this SSH pass and put it here, and I mistyped it. It's called git remote add. Okay, and now when I say git remote v, you can see that the origin still points to our fork, while the upstream points to the original third-party package. And just in case the developer pushed some code while we are doing all of this, we can say git fetch upstream, so we get all the latest information from upstream, and then we want to merge upstream master into our current branch. And right now there's nothing to merge. So this is where the actual coding will happen. In our case, it's pretty simple. In our case, we just want to run a core migration. So since I'm using Docker, I'm connecting to my Docker and doing it inside of my Docker. So here I run flow core migrate and the package name, and it will now apply all the update migrations. This is where you might do all kinds of coding in your editor, whatever it is. I'm just taking this as an example here. Okay, so again, to make sure that there are no changes on the original third-party package while we were developing, we would again fetch from upstream. Oops. We would again fetch from upstream and then merge into our the master into our current branch, and then we will say git push. This will push our changes online. So Composer, if you install it somewhere else, would pick up the right package here and would install your fork of the package, which is great. So now you can put something in production without needing to wait for the maintainer of the package. But of course, you want to help the maintainer evolve the package. So you want to make a pull request, and here describe what you are doing and why you are doing it. Okay, and we start the pull request. And yeah, the last thing might be, of course, with the new code, this package will run here. Great, and now our website works with the Twitter helper. And this was the short introduction. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to write down below on YouTube or in the Slack news channel.